Welcome back to another episode of Bassin' with Captain Lou. Today's episode is all about the popping frog versus the hollow body frog. Stick around, this is going to be a pretty informative video. All right, so the popping frog and the hollow body frog, both of these frogs I have been throwing for a very long time. But in today's outing, like I mentioned, I dedicated the outing just to these two frogs. I started at 6:15 in the morning and I wrapped up at around 10:45. I gave each of these frogs a solid half hour. You guys are going to see in some of these clips. I started my watch for 30 minutes. I fished popping frog for 30 minutes. I fished hollow body frog for 30 minutes. Stick around, I'm going to go ahead and start sharing with you guys my findings. Big chunker. Look at this guy. Look how he swallowed that popping frog. Beautiful fish. Another beauty. It's a nice fish. So there you have it, my hollow body frog and popping frog challenge. Like I mentioned, I started fishing at 6:15. I wrapped up around 10:45. I caught a total of 12 bass. My biggest 5 bass went for 16 pounds, 9 ounces. The biggest bass went for about 3 pounds, 12 ounces. And the winner of the big bass today went to the hollow body frog. But the popping frog caught the 3 biggest bass after that, meaning the other 3-pounders that I did catch were all on the popping frog. So like I said, I caught a total of 12 bass. 7 of the bass came from the popping frog, and 5 of the bass came from the hollow body. Now, was it a runaway? Did the popping frog run away from the hollow body frog? Not necessarily, but the popping frog did catch the most bigger bass, even though this guy walked away with the biggest bass of the outing. So all this information for what? In my book, throw both of these frogs. You can't go wrong. Stick around, I'm gonna go ahead and share with you guys the scenarios on when you would throw each of these frogs. So before I continue, let me go ahead and share with you guys that I have 2 of the same frogs, meaning these are both Spro 65 frogs. They're identical colors. This is a killer gill and this is a killer gill, okay? Now, the difference because of the sizes is because a popping frog has a much bigger profile. So although this is a Pro 65 popping frog, this is also a Pro 65 hollow body frog. But as you guys could see, the profile on the popping frog is significantly more than that of the hollow body frog. So really quick, because I don't want to drag out this video, pros and cons of each of these frogs. Pros of the popping frog. Profile. Much bigger profile, can attract much bigger bass because of its profile. That popping feature gives it the ability to make a lot more commotion, make a lot more noise on top of the water. Also remember the modification of adding that rattle, so it's going to go ahead and magnify the sound and help these bass find this frog a little easier. Disadvantages of this frog. The only disadvantages that comes to mind for me is fishing it in thicker vegetation. If you fish it in thick vegetation, that mouth will catch on to stuff and it's going to hinder the action of the frog. It hinders its ability to go ahead and pop. Can you still fish it in thicker vegetation? Sure, you can, but that's where the hollow body frog comes in. So the pros and cons of the hollow body frog. Hollow body frog, the profile yields itself or lends itself to fish in much thicker vegetation because it can move in the vegetation better because of its slender profile. Another advantage of this particular frog is that you can actually throw this one farther than you can a popping frog. Now you can throw a popping frog pretty far, but you can throw a hollow body frog a lot farther. So you could cover a lot more water with it. But again, remember, you could also do the modification that I talked to you guys about, and now you can make this frog a little bit more audible. Although you can't pop it, I mean, you could chug it, pulse it, but you can't actually pop it. But if you add a rattle to it, you can make it a lot more audible inside the vegetation for these bass to crush it. So the outcome of today's outing, if you were to ask me, Lou, what frog would you throw, the popping frog or the hollow body frog? My answer, and you guys know where I'm going with this, throw both. One of these will tell you what the bass want. In this case, yes, I did catch 12 bass. This one nipped out this one by 2 bass, okay? And yes, the hollow body frog nipped out the popping frog by big bass by 2 ounces. Folks, both of these frogs caught bass. Both of these frogs caught quality bass, okay? What dictates the difference is the conditions and the situation, especially when we talked about this on my previous video. You got to be able to read the bass's mood, okay? Was this a runaway outing? No, I had to work my butt off for each of these bites today, and the reason for it, and I covered it earlier, was because we were coming into a full moon. It was a clear night, and I'm sure these bass fed throughout the evening and throughout the nighttime. But am I complaining? No. 16-pound bag with 12 bass, I will take it. So folks, throw both. One of them is going to tell you which one to stick with. Like this video, share this video, better yet, subscribe. I hope you guys got something out of this video. If you guys got something out of this video, smash that subscribe button. I will greatly appreciate it. I will see you guys again soon. Take care of yourselves.